In exercise for H, I and J, we're going to do a review of some 3 formulas that you would have been introduced to back in stage 5. Those formulas are called the sine rule, the cosine rule, and the area of a triangle. Now, the reason that you have these formulas is because we're now moving into finding, just as you did previously with sine, cos and tan, the length of the side of a triangle or an angle. Now you will still be finding the length of the side or an angle, but this time in a non-right angle triangle. So we're extending our ability to find sides and angles and area of a triangle of non-right angle triangles. So to understand the formula, you have to know the labelling principles for triangles. So all angles are labelled with a capital letter of all angles of the triangle, and the sides are then labelled with the lowercase letter of the angle that it is opposite. So this side down here is opposite. We would say it's opposite angle A, so it is side A. This side over here is B, and likewise C. The sine rule and cosine rule and area of the triangle also appear on your reference sheet. So you can see that you're not going to be tested in how well you can recall the formula. So because it's given, that's not the concept they're testing. They're more testing, do you know when to use it? So obviously you will use it when the triangle is non-right angle. Now, many students get that they've recognised within a question that the triangle is not right angle, but then they still struggle with whether they should use the sine rule or the cosine rule. I've tried, as you can see, I've separated them for you, and I've tried to give you a bit of a little test to determine when to use which rule. So when we're using the sine rule, we would say that our triangle has 2 sides and 2 angles involved. And you might be thinking, what does this involved mean? Well, if I write the sine rule, what I'm saying is there are 4 components: a side and the angle it's opposite, another side and the angle it's opposite. So you can see that, yes, 2 sides and 2 angles occur in the formula. One of those, of course, will be your unknown, and the other 3 must be given, because in an equation we can only have one unknown. So if it's this angle that's unknown, I must be given 2 sides and the other angle, and this angle, it is involved. It's what you're being asked to find. That's how it's involved. Over here in the cosine rule, so there's, let me just check which method. So they give the cosine rule in this format, and from that format you can use the cosine rule to find an angle. Let me show you how we do that. So if I write c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c, obviously now we've got a side, another side and another side. We've got 3 sides. They all have to be somehow involved. You might be finding one of the sides with the other 2 sides given, but then you can also see that this angle must be given. Now, it's really important for you to make the connection between this side and the angle that's given must be the angle opposite the side you're finding. Some of you might not have done a lot of work on this. Please do a couple of questions, come back, re-listen to this video, because there will be things that I'm mentioning here that you may not be picking up first time through the video. like I said, the advantage of the videos is you can come back and replay them. And for some of you that didn't learn and pay attention to the finer explanation of things previously, you need to be doing that now. And so you will need to listen to this video more than once. So you can see that if the triangle involves one angle, whether it be the thing you're finding or it's given, and all three sides, then you will use the cosine rule. Let's just have a look at how you would rearrange that formula. And so what we do is to find the angle. So we first of all bring over the 2ab cos c to make it positive. We leave the a squared plus the b squared, and we take the c squared over, and obviously it'll become a minus. We're just going to divide both sides by the 2ab, and that'll leave us with cos c, so it's a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. And then we know that we have to take the inverse in order to find an angle of this fraction. Now this is where the new calculator will be really helpful. We find that students obviously often get the calculation of this fraction incorrect, and which will obviously give you either an error answer or the incorrect angle that you're trying to find. So that's basically a quick review of the sine rule and the cosine rule. I'll stop the video there and do the examples in another video.